Hello and welcome back to Quinn's Wish 2. We are still here in Fort Osborne on the very south. We didn't even leave the first zone, but we entered some building with which had a warning that there are enemies in there which are too strong yet and which we will not be able to beat. And this seems to be pretty much the case, as we stumbled on a mage who is pretty much invincible for now. So, and there are also still some enemies left over here, and I doubt that we can do anything against them, but we will try that. Maybe it's working, but the issue is, of course, also that we already ran out of energy, so our healing is limited and so on, so we have to be a bit lucky regarding evasions and so on, which we are not at the moment. So that, yeah, we are not taking a huge amount of damage, while they are hopefully taking more. That's nice, okay. Oh, he's running away. But that means that they want to run around and attack the mage, which of course would be rather deadly. So let's see if we can go there and yeah. If we go there, he will be able to attack in one turn. I think he can also run for 5 tiles. We want to avoid that. It's not possible, okay. Yeah, alright, that worked. Now we need to go all out for the damage to kill that guy. It's not great so far. Okay, so let's switch these positions and maybe, yeah, we hit the wolf as well. All right, we have nobody who's already about to die, so everyone should be able to take one more blow. Yeah. Alright, let's shoot. That should be fine. Alright, so we killed these as well. And we've got 1 or 2 more rooms to discover, but apparently there's nothing in here. Okay, and there's nothing in there either. So, yeah, we need to come back to the, well, top room thing, but there are also 2 more doors in this area, in this level, which we cannot open. We need some key, and it's probably like this mage guy has the key, but we will be, it's impossible now with our remaining hit points and energy to kill that guy. I mean, we can do another here, like healing up 1 character, but this is not going to help much. And actually, let's do that now. And now we're out of mana again. Alright. So this is the trading hall, storage chat. Oh, we haven't been here either. There's spiders in here. Okay, let's try to kill these. Trapdoor spider. Ouch! Okay, they're not super impressive. Should be fine. Ouch. Okay, I should use some abilities with that character as well. Okay, fine. So we've got some treasure over here. The crate is full of letters and records, not surprising for one of Haven's ports. All of these scrolls are crumbling and moldy. This barn is being used for records storage. You search through them for a moment, but you don't find anything useful. The crumbling parchment makes you sneeze. Right. And we've got some fine fur, which we can sell. And additional bow, which is nice, because that guy needed one. Alright, cool. Cool. So now we have been in all the buildings, and we need to get back to the trading hall once we've got a level up or so. So let's leave the city and explore a bit. So we got the advice that we should stay on the path, which obviously we will not do. Once you are clear of Port Osborne, you look around. Prince Sutter and you spent 3 days since you arrived in the Rokaj hunting these valleys. This is the normal terrain of the Rokaj. Tight valleys broken up by sharp spires of stone. Down here in the gentle coast, the land is green, nourished by frequent rain. Once you leave the coast, the terrain gets hostile quickly. You advance carefully, looking for raiders, bandits, and violent opportunists. Happily, none are visible yet. By the way, one thing I need to change is turn on the background sounds. I had to turn it off in the very beginning because of the main menu music, but now we can... This actually doesn't need to be an enemy group. It can be friendlies, though I guess this is enemies, but... it might be a good idea to talk to them, or try to talk to them. This wagon has been rotting in the rain for years. It is surrounded by decaying trash. Anything of value was looted years ago. We still found 137 gold though. Or is that our gold? No, this is our gold, so we found nothing. Great, okay. There's a camp, okay. You meet someone. You find a camp of dirty, poor robe warriors hidden in the cove on the rocky shore. They are swarthy and protected by iron armor. These must be raiders, down from the rocky hills of the Low Daga. This is a very bold bunch, but their presence is not unusual. The row are robbing and raiding each other constantly. Or maybe they are part of the band sent to kill you. When you come into view, they grab their weapons. Their leader cautiously approaches you. I am Kessa. We know you. You're Kordanor. We saw your ship come. We are raiders of this weak coast, and we have no business with you. Leave us. That's Prince Kordanor of Haven to you. Are you allied with those who attacked us? We know nothing of that. Plenty here at Hate Haven now. We aren't involved in it. Leave us. Haven does not allow banditry. I demand that you return home, or else. Kessa evaluates you with a practiced eye. No, Prince! You are not strong here. The Row are not cowards. We stay here, and we take what is ours. You may stay here. You are here to raid the Gentle Coast? They are decadent and weak. They should have their wealth taken. On general principles, we will gain some wealth when we will return to the Low Daga. Heaven does not allow banditry. Kessa picks some dirt out from under her fingernails. You may stay here, because we will not be able to... I probably should destroy you, just to play it safe. You may stay here. Kessa turns her back on you and returns to their fire. The Dagon warriors snicker as you leave. The sort of treatment will probably happen a lot in the Row, alas. Okay. What if we... okay, and what happens if we just attack them? Kessa is shocked. She didn't expect this. We thought Haven was weak and cowardly. This is an unfortunate end. Killing you will cause us all sorts of trouble. Oh well. Okay. Yeah. So I guess that means we are not going to do that. And I leave that unexplored for now, so that we know that we need to get back. And we can also tell... Yeah, meet someone. Some raiders and brigands have located you. They change you furiously. Do they realize how completely you and your warriors outclass them? Who knows? The Row have an endless history of being wildly fearless, but no outsider can ever claim to truly understand them. These are only 4, but they might still be stronger than the ones we had before. And in addition, Yeah, in addition, we are pretty much dead already, so... Oh no, okay, that was a lot of damage. So let's try and do as much ranged attack as possible. Okay. Nah. Whoa, nice. Whoa, 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 whoa. Radar, radar. Okay, let's just walk back a little bit more, so they... Whoa. Mm-hmm. That actually went much better than I expected. Alright. That was this group. We saw something with Fort Memory? No. There's another group. But they will be too hard for now. It looks like a lot of them. You arrive at this campsite just in time. 2 of your soldiers have been trapped here, surrounded by car wolves and actual wolves. Even if they were properly supplied and trained, they would be in serious trouble here. Heaven soldiers can handle desperate odds, but there are limits. Save them. You barge your way through the circle of foes, blocking them moments before they tear apart your soldiers. The 2 warriors are stunned into silence, but only for a moment. Then they show their proper mettle of Heavenite warriors and ready their weapons. Okay, at least we've got some tanks, so actually let's heal our wounded first. And then we can try and just do ranged attacks here. Evaded. Actually, with this character, we can use the icy... No, this one is... no, this is the right one. Okay. Unfortunately... Well, I will try that. I mean, worst case, we die. But this might be worth it. Whoa, this was a nice cleave. Okay, we switch out that character so that he will get attacked if they should get forward. Alright, yeah, exactly like this. And... Yes, it's usually not a good idea to attack additional characters, but in this case I want to have them all a little bit damaged so that I can kill them with an AoE. Actually, that was... Alright. Like now we can use that one. So if I had damaged him already, he would probably have died now, yeah. Anyways, this works very well. I mean, they are extremely powerful, so as long as we have someone to tank, we can just shoot them. You pause long enough to heal and bandage the 2 warriors. Your skill saves them from their wounds. When they realize who you are, they receive your help with shocked silence. Eventually, you send them back north to Fort Meadow 4. Your safe haven is visible just over the hill to the north. Okay. And there's yet another group. And another and another. At first you thought this road was protected by your soldiers. It makes sense since you're so close to Fort Meadow 4. By the time you see their mismatched gear and brutal expressions, it's too late to get away. Okay, but they are also weak and we can use the time now. I'm not sure if I can actually heal on the main map. But yeah, in this case I will just try and exterminate them. I will stay in the back and not... No, we can heal later. Now we need to kill. That was not working. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also not working. Okay, let's go back just a little bit. So that they cannot attack in the same turn they are moving. Nice. And yeah, that should be it, but just to be safe, might be able to evade that, so... Okay, dead. Next ones. And these ones seem to be friendlies, so... Alright. And there's another group. Let's say hi to them. From the distance, this looked like a camp of loyal warriors guarding the pass and keeping it safe for you. Row does have a proper army loyal to Haven. They are wearing its insignia. As you greet them, you realize that their military garb is old, torn, and ill-fitting, doubtless stolen. The raiders realize that you have seen through the disguise, and they draw their weapons. Oh, these are a bit more than before. Okay. And this was not a great start. Alright. So, let's try and... Actually, we can't heal. So, healing is not possible in this view, which is a bit of a shame. Okay. So, I guess it might be... At first you thought that this road was protected. Ah, now they're attacking me. Protected by soldiers makes sense, blah blah blah. It's too late to get away. Alright. But these are only 4 and they're rather far away, so there should not be an issue. I think it might make sense to go to this port first in order to get a level up. I'm pretty sure that we will get a level up there. And then get back down again. Oh, Dagon Archer. That's a new one. It was not great. Let's use the stun. Stun resisted, but slowed. And still took damage, so all fine. Alright. Die! The music you hear in the background is by Incompetech, by the way. It's not from the game. Alright, so that was this group. And as I mentioned, we should go north to this thing here. Ah, there is the city. Near Fort Meadow 4. You finally reach the outskirts of Fort Meadow 4. This is a fortress of Haven, one of 7 in the Rokaj. You're standing on actual Haven land now, given to your nation by treaty. Haven's vassal states always give up their patches of land for your fortresses. Unfortunately, you see little here to make you proud. Fort Meadow 4 has been neglected for years. The roads are torn up, the crops are failing. Some of the workshops inside have been abandoned, so has the military camp to the east. You can see why Sutter sent you straight here. Now that you actually need battle support, there's a lot of work to do here. Okay, let's go in. And hopefully we can finish this quest. The Assault. You're supposedly in a routine diplomatic mission to the Rokaj, one of the Empire's lesser vassal states. You have been attacked by raiders and cut off from Heaven's forces. Prince Sutter told you to make your way to Fort Meadow 4, north of Port Osborne. Avoid fights whenever possible and sneak to the fort. Then report to the general there. Yeah. We snuck through. You enter Fort Meadow 4, Haven's main fortress in the Gentle Coast. You dimly remember visiting here when you were a small child. Back then it was run down and neglected. In the last few decades it has been allowed to crumble. Shockingly, nobody greets you. No guards are visible. They must be off dealing with the raiders from the north. Your escort runs off to secure the fort. Sutter promised that General Miranda would greet you. You do hear people talking. The voices come from outside the only fully intact building. There is a warehouse and command post in the center of Fort Meadow 4, looking out over the riverport. Your warriors depart. Speak with General Miranda in the center of town to learn how to recruit them again. Ah, okay. But I think it's a bit like the Bard's Tale, with that you can just add them to the party again. You need to get permission from General Miranda before you can order buildings to be rebuilt. Yeah, okay. Let's go to the Miranda then. The headquarters of Fort Meadow 4 loom over the small port to the west. Long docks extend into the cold white river, which flows down from the tall peaks of the Rocage. You can see a large warehouse hanging off the back of the hall. The building is intact and under Haven's control, a nice change of pace from the mess you've seen so far. In front of the hall, an aggravated General Miranda is getting a report from some Haven scouts. You know her well. She helped you greatly during your mission in Sacramento. She takes a break from her shouting to give you a wave. Select a character to talk to it. Okay, we managed to do that. Waiting for you. Yeah. We need you out there. And as mentioned before, you can press tab in order to highlight all the characters you can talk to, and you can identify the relevant ones by having a name. When General Miranda turns to face you, you can see the relief on her face. You have a reputation for being unpredictable, but given the miserable state of the fort, any help is desperately welcome. She waves away as scouts return to their jobs, turns to you, and bows. Prince Kordanor, it is an honor to be working for you again. I wish I had a better report to give. I think I'm done with the row. Please help me to get home. I need your report. What is your status? Ah, she looks at the backs of the departing scouts. Not terrible, actually. We have been raided by a small, determined force from the mountains of the rope. They have taken several locations and are holding them. Prince Sutter has already departed to dislodge them from a few mines they seized. He believes that their leader is there. Who sent this attack and why? Unknown. The force was small, unfortunately. Fortunately, Prince Sutter hopes to grab one of their leaders and question the prisoner vigorously. Who are the attackers? A mix of raiders from the Low Darga and K-Wolves, interestingly. The K-Wolves seem to have been obeying the humans. This is rare and strange. K-Wolves can be trained, but it is very difficult. Perhaps Sage Harlan can investigate this question in calmer times. Is Fort Meadow 4 under threat? Not currently. The raiders bypassed us, heading directly to Port Osborne, no doubt to abduct or kill you. The raiding force is small, but their actions are a true outrage against the dignity of Haven. Fort Meadow 4 is an odd name, yeah, I thought about that. Oh yes, well, early settlers called it Fort Meadow because the gentle coast is so, well, meadowy. But all forts of Haven have to have different names, and when the settlers reported the fort name, a 4 was appended to it. Records, rules, you know. What is the status of Fort Meadow 4 now? As you can see, it is, well, it's pretty gruesome. Haven's fortifications in the row have been neglected to an extent that Prince Sutter found, well, he said, a lot of loud words. We will be counting on you to direct its rebuilding. First, however, Prince Sutter left some orders for you. I already have more orders? Your older brother was fairly insistent. He wants the raiders driven out and the areas they stole liberated. I can delay his precise instructions to you. Relay. First, however, you should recruit some soldiers. I need to recruit soldiers? I have seen firsthand how competent a warrior you are. However, assaulting a raider stronghold alone would be... Prince Sutter was very insistent that you have help. Happily, the 3 soldiers who escorted you here are still at your service. 3 warriors? I could actually use a lot more, like 50. General Miranda gives you a weak smile. Usually those on a stealthy or diplomatic mission travel with a smaller complement. Also, 3 is all we have to spare. My apologies. When you are ready, please find me in my office. She turns and enters the trading hall. End this conversation to learn how to recruit warriors. Make a full party of 4 characters. Alright, to edit your party, press this button on the left. To remove and blah blah, you will want to recruit 3 other characters to go with you on your adventure. Press the edit party button. Press the plus button to the right of a character to add it to your group and to the other 3 characters. You can also make new characters for your roster. If you build a fort from another nation, you will be able to... Yeah, this is the important part, because right now we can And we have a new quest. Alright, let's have a look at the new quest first. The rebuilding. Before you can rebuild your colony, you will need to gather supplies and learn how to direct the construction. First, you must recruit some of the warriors available to you in your fortress. Okay, we managed to do that. Edit party. So, we will just add them because there is absolutely no reason to not just pick them up again. Ah, we can also check fort summary. Well, nothing. Okay. Because you can just unskill them as far as I know. Different skills, select ability, you've purchased to unload and get skill points back. You can't reduce the skill until you remove training from the skills in the tier above. What? Ah, because this is the lowest and this is the higher ones. Okay, so we can, yeah, we can completely reskill all the characters in the base. And I think the only thing, yeah, we can even edit the character and choose a different visual for the character, but I think I'm fine with that. So, yeah, we can just keep them as they are. And we can reskill them if we want to. So let's check what we actually have access to. So there the warriors have a steel skin passive ability, always active. That's always great. Gives 20% point resistance to bleeding, poison, stun. Well, this is not that great. Okay. And every time you unlock a new tier, you actually get this bonuses here. As soon as you have 1 point in them, not unlock them. But so if I had 1 point in there, I would get this. So I'm not sure if these were both super useful, but we have to have 2. It might be better if... So let's unlock the undo this one. The brutal blow causes bleeding, but usually they're not taking that much damage on bleed. This one, however, is weakening them for more turns, so it's also not that useful. So I think that one is fine. And that goes for the other warrior as well. I've got the stun. It's fine. For the supporter, we've got the heal. We have an inspiring cry, which increasing their damage. It's probably not worth to spend the mana on that yet. This is called curing bleeding and stuff. So this might be worth it. And what's that? Was active, gives you heals and blasts 25% chance of not costing action points. Oh, that's also nice. And this might actually be more useful than that thing. So, oh, and this one is also healing 10% more. So let's just use that one instead of curing poison and whatnot. What would be the? Actually, do we also this one also? Ah, okay. So we actually need to talk to someone who teaches us these. All right. So yeah, a bit of a shift here just to increase the heals. And for the magic, I mean, I used the shock a couple of times, but I don't see much of an advantage of just the normal attack. And it costs energy, so that's not that great. We've got the terror, which causes the enemy to leave. Might be good, but it's single foe. Always active, 20% bonus to all afflictions because increases magical damage by 2 per point. So this one would also be a good option. So let's disable that one. Take this. And I'm not much of a fan of that one. So let's keep that one active and have it boosted by this skill. Alright. That's it for now. Let's explore the... Well, not... We don't actually need to explore the city yet before we talk to Miranda, because we will probably get the option to build the base. As you approach Miranda's office, you walk by a Gleaming Mirror. This is a remarkable, useful magical device. It enables people to speak with each other over great distances. For example, it enables your mother to nag and pester you from the thousands of miles away. Yeah, we know that from the previous game. At the moment, it looks like an ordinary mirror. No message for you. If it sparkles, that means someone wants to speak with you. Each of Heaven's 7 forts have one of these mirrors. You can check them often to get information. Sometimes this knowledge will be useful. Sometimes. So this is usually, I mean, our brother or mother or whoever is going to contact us and tell us, oh, you have been doing great, you should do this or should do that, but we don't have to follow that. Let's click on that again. You look into the mirror, you see you. Nobody's trying to speak with you right now. When the mirror sparkles, someone is trying to contact you. Alright. Let's talk to Miranda. General Miranda says, what else do you need, Prince? I can give guidance and support as needed. I've recruited more soldiers. Now what? Now I can relay Prince Sutter's message. There's something he wants you to do. Not me, of course. I would never give orders to royalty of Haven. But, well, we told me what I have to say. Sutter wants me to do something. Fine. What? So you're a general now. I'd like to know more about what you've been up to. Oh, I'm sorry, Prince. I'm sure we will have time to talk later. For now, Prince Sutter was very insistent that I follow his orders and ignore distractions. Oh, come now. You can ignore my brother for a bit. Getting stuck between squabbling royalty is not a situation General Miranda enjoys at all. I'm so sorry, I think I had best follow the directions of the man who might be king someday. No offense. Sutter wants me to do something. Fine, what? So, when they were rushing south, a handful of the raiders went east. They grabbed control of Spiretop Lighthouse. Prince Sutter wants you to go there and retake it. Get what intelligence you can. Do Heaven proud. Bear the flag high, all the usual. You have completed a quest by reaching Fort Meadow 4. This has given you enough experience to give you a level. Yeah, that's what I mentioned before. When you end the conversation, you will learn how to train your characters. What is Spiretop Lighthouse? Oh, she checks some notes on her desk. It's a lighthouse, constructed by Haven. Helps merchant ships through a particularly jagged area of the sea. It is not hugely significant in the scheme of things, but even one tower held by this rebel is too many. The prince's words. Where is the lighthouse? Leave Fort Meadow 4 and travel east on the roads. Follow the signs. We don't know how many enemies are there, and Sutter is sending me? Oh, Prince Sutter gave me a response in case you have expressed such an sentiment. She nervously picks up a scrap of paper. Please, these are your brother's words, not mine. Go on. She reads from the paper. Kordanor, quit your whining. Show this rebel what Haven can do. No enemy force could ever be too large. General Miranda winces. I'm not sure what is true, but... that is true, but it is what he said. We await news of your victory. The conversation ends. And this... you have just gained a level. Your characters now have more health and energy, and their abilities and attacks will be more effective. Each time you gain a level, you will also gain a skill point. When you are in one of your forts, you can spend skill points, gain new abilities, or make your old abilities more effective. Alright, cool. Yeah, but regarding the writing, this is... what I mentioned in my review for another game, Explore, which is also like a one-man project with very low-end visuals and sound. But the issue in that game was that it also didn't compensate with writing and great game mechanics. And the one thing the Spiderweb games are all very good at is the writing. Basically the writing, and depending on which game, the game mechanics are, and the interesting combat is what makes these games still great in like the total product. I mean, I'm not sure how great this total game will be, like maybe the combats are getting very boring, but and for example Geneforge had a rather bad game combat concept, But in general, if there wasn't this writing, then and the high quality in the texts, I mean, this game also would not be, or all the Spiderweb games wouldn't be as good and prominent or have their fan base. I mean, this is what makes them standing out, right? Alright, so let's have a look at the characters again. We got one more skill point, and that's all we can use to increase anything of the character. We don't have any attribute points or anything like that. So we can split them now. We can either put it into this AoE attack, or we can use this also to be able to stun. And I think I like the stun because we can also use the stun with ranged attacks, so we can keep the enemies away. And still, I need to take this track out of the playlist, I think. And I will do the same with the other character, just the other way around. So we take this one here. For the priest guy, yeah, what do we do here? Cost 1 energy, teleport. Gain new ability, teleports one character to a nearby spot. And this gives 5 points to evasion. This is also not bad. Of course, we could also just go into a combat skill, right? But I'm not sure if this is super useful. Especially for this, like, he should probably put all the points he has into healing, or use everything for healing. So it would be most useful in this case to just have a passive. And in that case, because I mean, this is a healer and he should heal most of the turns, we can put it in the mage spells actually, because the mage spells will give us additional energy, which we can use for healing. Always gives a 20% to all afflictions caused and increase the magical damage by 2 points. I guess the magical damage is not relevant. I'm not sure if this is actually relevant for the healing spells. It might be. Ah, no. So this is giving a curse bonus, so this is not helping for healing spells. But we get 1 energy and we can use 1 arcane items, which is cool because we still had from, I think, the very beginning, we had this rope, wrong character, and this might be better than that item. Yeah, it is. And there can also be an augmentation, alright. Alright, so we can sell that one. Cool, cool. And we have the mage left. Magic. So what can we do here? This one is super helpful if we just want to nuke a whole group. The alternative would be like having additional melee stuff and also 2 health, right? So for support we could take the healing, which would also be helpful. Yeah, either addition, I mean, I'm not sure if we actually get... No, this is... I think we are not getting an additional energy point if we take this one. Let's see for a moment. So now we have got 7 energy. And if I put another point in there, we still got 7. So it's just as long as you got 1, you get this, you don't get that for each item, which makes sense, especially for the arcane items. So yeah, we can put the other point into support, into healing. So if we get low on mana on that character and low on hit points, we can actually heal up with that character as well, which I think was super useful. So I will put the healing over there. And why? What is happening? Ah, I didn't even see that. Okay. Alright, fine. That works. So let's see what's in there. The Empire of Haven. Haven is one of the greatest powers in the known lands. It is an empire not shy about admitting it. Its conquests are not gained by war usually, but by diplomacy, cunning and clever use of its small but highly disciplined military and powerful wizards. In its early days, Haven was one of many small, wild, violent city-states. More disciplined, more cautious, but still one of many. Haven has its own warriors and wizards. They fight very well. However, there are not enough of them to conquer the world by force of arms. Thus, it is by alliances that Haven grows. That is why Haven's symbol is the scroll. Haven makes deals and it lives by them. Haven buys the independence of smaller powers and is brutal when they try to regain it. Yeah. So the idea of Haven is that it's basically putting a lot of forces together, and because they basically have contracts with each other that they are assisting Haven, not a single one can go away basically. So they're basically all forced to help Haven, because the other ones which share the same contract would then kill the one rebel. Of course, this would not work if the others grouped together, but Haven in itself is not a strong nation as far as I understand. It's the alliance which makes Haven. So also, like, yeah, interesting construct at least. Chief Cestus. This used to be a grand hall where emissaries from Haven met with leaders of the row. Like everything else in Fort Metaphor, it is neglected and depressing. At least there is still one official here to speak for your nation. She is an old woman wearing ill-fitting leather armor. It bears the insignia of a chief, a commander of one of your proud forts. When you approach, she slumps in a chair and lets out a tired sigh. It is an honor to greet the Prince of Haven after all of these quiet years. I am Chief Cestus. I have served in Fort Metaphor for many years. Now that you have looked around, I'm sure you have much to say. Her voice is fitting, tired and defeated. I've had a chance to inspect your fort. Chief Cestus nods. It was inevitable that this reckoning would come. We await your judgment. Things seem to be going well. Your fort is not in a good shape. This fort is a shame for Haven. You should be flogged. Your fort is not in good shape. Chief Cestus nods. That is the kindest possible way to state the truth. This fort is useless. It doesn't have to always be that way though. Haven has returned. Perhaps it can still be of use. How did you come to be a chief here? My first posting was in the Rokaj over 30 years ago. I served all over this land. Then I was honored with this post. I served my entire career here. I even remember when you visited. You were a small child, and the last time a royalty of Haven came here before now. 30 years is a long time. Yes, most officers of Haven chose to travel from time to time. See the world, stay fresh. I chose to have roots. You chose to stay here? I love this our land. Even though they are on the brink of war with us now, I admire their spirits. Also, we are their overlords, the sun in their sky, even though we ignore them. I settled down. I raised a family here. It happens. So, any long-term plans? I will do everything to help you return peace to the row. Then I will retire. I will stay here no matter what cost. Then you can replace me with someone up the job for rebuilding. Up to the job. Okay, I have another question. Chief Cestus slumps into her chair. Her face is without expression. You wonder when she last showed any passion for her work. You watch as a fine layer of dust slowly settles on. As I mentioned, great writing. That's so great. Okay. How did you come to be a chief here? What happened to Fort Metaphor? You are my prince, so I must be honest. It was neglect. After your father, consort Darmal, died, the Rokai was forgotten. Or that is how it has seemed all these years. I take full responsibility for the state of Fort Metaphor. My underlings share no responsibility. You should be punished for your negligence. Actually, I need a more honest answer than that. The chief sighs. We did not get support or resources. We were allowed to decay. It was as simple as that. Resources due to us were diverted. Quality officers soon learned not to serve here. Did you not tell Haven what was happening? I did as often as I could safely do so. I did not want to annoy the queen, but I tried to let her and Princess Delia know of the difficulty of the situation. She realizes that she is going too far. They rule, they see the entire empire. I have no right to question them, but they were told. How long have you been neglected? Quite a few years. Your father, Consort Darmal, was from here. After he died, our land was abandoned. She looks at you. I saw you when you were a child. Your whole family visited here. This was long ago. You look like him. You are still responsible for your fall. No excuses. You did the best you could with what you were given. And yet, it wasn't good enough. We may be facing a new uprising and we are not ready. A true Heavenite would have found a way to do better. Even if you don't judge me, I will. Alright. How did you come to be a chief here? I will need support from a mission here. Of course, Prince. What little we have is yours. I should call your attention to the mirror and the portal. We have created quarters for you upstairs. There are supplies and a place to rest here. There. A real help, however, will have to come from General Miranda. It is an honor to have her here. In return, I may occasionally need your judgment. Tell me about the mirror. It is right outside this office. When it sparkles, someone is trying to talk to you. It is how Sharon's palace speaks with us. It has been quiet for a long time, but now that you are here, tell me about the portal. It is in one of the northern halls. It leads back to Sharon's palace. Once you are done with the row, I expect that you will be using it to return home. Okay, so it's disabled though, or what? Tell me about my quarters. They are upstairs, looked over by your butler. You can rest and store excess equipment there. We will give you our lives to keep you safe. Tell me about General Miranda. She has taken over my office to the east. She is extremely quick and competent, I must say. Much needs to be decided about the future of the Rokaj. When you have made a decision, it must be delivered to her. You may need my judgment. This is the foremost of Haven's force, the Rokaj. Sometimes we need to judge legal disputes of our vassal state. The most difficult ones are brought to this hall for me to judge. It can be very difficult, and it could use help. Please drop by the hall from time to time. I may need your wisdom for a trial. Now that an uprising has begun, I am no longer sufficient to handle the trickiest bits of diplomacy. Alright, I have another question. Blah 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 blah. I will need support. Anything I can do for you to help restore the fort? Not yet. Right now, Prince Tutter's orders override all. I understand he wants Spiretop Lighthouse retaken. General Miranda can tell you more. Once that is done, speak with me again. I might be able to help you. Alright. So we cannot rebuild stuff yet. Before you can rebuild your colony, you will need to gather supplies and learn how to direct the construction. Take your warriors, leave the fort, and follow the road east to Spiretop Lighthouse. Enter and destroy the raiders there. Then report back to Miranda. Alright, cool. So, that's what we are going to do next then. In the hall to the north, you see a stone portal. This is one of the most prized of Haven's magical artifacts. When it is open and glowing, you can walk through it to the Palace of Haven and back. Only those who have been touched by a certain spell can use the portal. Usually royalty. Of course, it was applied to you at birth. The portal consumes great energy and tends to make the user very nauseated. A vomiting pot is provided. Still, when someone important needs to be moved somewhere very quickly, this is the best method. Alright, let's check in here. Oh, there's even more. And a chest. And a leather cap. Alright. Let's take the leather cap then. And this is an exit. Alright. Nothing in here. Let's touch the portal. You approach the portal. It leads back to Sharon's palace, your home. When you get close, an invisible hand flings you back. You have to have the Queen's permission to walk through this portal. When travel through it is allowed, you will be told. Until then, you are stuck here. Yeah. I mean, I did that... Yeah, before in the first game, just when I was allowed to do that without having anything done in the game, and then I just finished that. I mean, just for testing, it's not the save. the decisions which I imported. But yeah, of course they were not too impressed by my actions then. But it's cool that you can do that. The upper floor of the hall is dedicated to the business of Haven. General Miranda managed... What? It is dedicated to the business of Haven. General Miranda managed to clean it up a little before you arrived. It is an entire ruin. Your bedroom is to the west. You are desperately relieved to see your most prized piece of equipment, your butler, Stonehouse. He was sent to Fort Meadow 4 ahead of you, and he seems to have survived the radar attacks so far. He stands at attention, waiting to see your royal needs. His face calm, and his eyes have their constant look of haunted despair. Freshen up by your haircut. Before we talk to him, let's just have a look around. General Miranda and Stonehouse, working together, attempted to set up quarters for you worthy of a Prince of Haven. Of course, they failed. The meal left out for you is cold, and the cask of wine left for you is of subpar vintage. Could be worse. Your wild youth left you with a bit of reputation in the known lands. As a result, you do have food and wine, and the bed has proper sheets and a pillow. You can rest in beds like this one to recover your strength. A chest waits in the center of the room, doubtless full of equipment necessary for survival. When you are on a quest and receive a reward item you can't carry, it will appear in this chest. Oh, nice. So it's a kind of an overflow thing. Ah, okay. And indeed, we have some armor we can use here. So, and we should probably try and sell all the stuff which we don't use, but first we need a vendor for that. And we can also see that some of these items now are over the limitation, like, we need more carpenters to use that, so we can't use this item, but we also have weapons which, for example, mages can't use. No, they're not in there yet. Alright, anyways, so we need some gloves. The leather cap will be used by this other warrior. The shield we don't need for now. The ceremonial blade is probably crap, so we will exchange that for the bronze spear. So let's put it in here. It's a bit not optimal, a bit stupid that you can see like the power in here but not in here. So you basically have to move the items there, and you can see, okay, this is an item with a power of 4, and this is an item with a power of 4 as well. Like if it was better, then like this one is 7, so you can see directly that this is better than that. This is two-handed. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So of course this does more damage. But yeah, this is basically a higher quality sword, and so we are going to take that sword instead and can sell the other one. So our priest, however, he can still use the other, which is probably still better than the dagger, right? No, this dagger is actually 8 to 10. Yeah, it's better than that one. All right, never mind then. And what's the orb doing? An offhand item. But this is a two-handed. No, this is a main hand item. Absorbs 50% up to physical damage, magical damage. Alright, well, why not? And the rest we can basically sell. I mean, the shield is nice if we can use that, which we can't. So that's all for now. Let's have a look into this last room here. You find the library of Fort Meadow 4. It is the most intact and well-protected room in the fort. Heaven's symbol is the scroll for a reason. Treaties, records, histories, and communications are much of the source of Haven's power. Lone figures wanders among the dusty stacks. You remember him as Sage Harlan. He was one of Miranda's assistants back when she was but a lowly chief of Sacramento. When Harlan sees you, he turns and bows, his arms heavy with a load of delicately balanced scrolls. I'm so glad you made it safely, Prince Kordanor. I know little about the role so far, but I will help you however I can. Alright. And we have additional texts. Alright, and there's one more room actually. Let's have a look in that box. Okay, this is just scrap. And I think it's turned automatically into money, right? Yeah. Alright, so I guess we will talk to these in the next... Oh, there's another room. Yeah, this is probably like a toilet. We will talk to the butler and to Harlan in the next episode then, but we will have a look into these books here during the last minutes. Row works of interest. The Rokaj, for its reputation, has a land of mindless warriors, has a long history of natural science and magical study. However, they like to keep their knowledge secret. We have heard of someone intriguing titles heaven should copy. Their Erudico continues to do research, though its pace has slowed during the recent decades of neglect by Haven. We have heard of books called Erudico Principles, Erudico Earth Law, and Erudico Sky Science. Of course, these can probably be stolen from Erudico halls. The shamans of the Karanas woods have started to actually write down some of their centuries-old natural study. We have not yet found a copy of the work Beasts of the Groves. Look for one where the shamans reside. A few of the stone masters of the Low Daga have noted interesting qualities of the rocks they dig up. Look for a copy of Layers of Stone in the workshops. I guess we get a quest from that. The Mist Talkers of the High Letha have also begun to write down some of what they have learned. They are particularly careful about keeping their secrets. Where the Mist Talkers live and study, look for a copy of Lies of the Dead. Okay, no, we did not get any quest. But yeah, this is something we should probably, when we find, we probably get a quest to bring it to Harlan. And Karna's woods. These woods were mentioned, right? Yeah. Okay. Alright, and the other book. Haven's Secrets of Power. The true founders of Haven created the pattern of their domination. Look for lands full of small, wearing powers. Ally with the most powerful one and give it the magic and weaponry needed to defeat its enemies in return. Once this chosen faction takes power, demand trade and partial control of that nation, making it a vassal state. If the nation ever tries to back out of the deal, ally with one of its rivals and help Haven's new friends to destroy the disobedient former vassal state. Yeah, this is pretty much what I mentioned before. Then demand loyalty from the shattered nation that remains. The Rokaj follows this pattern mostly. There is always a faction that will take control on behalf of Haven. However, they will almost always rebel soon after. The Ro are a very independent-minded people. Alright, so this is it for today. Next time we will then travel to the Spiretop Lighthouse and do some more combat. But I think overall the Spiderweb games usually have a well-balanced balance between combat and talking, so you're not going into a city and have to talk like for 3 hours or so like it's in some other games, but it can be like 30-45 minutes or something, and then you usually leave and get back to some combat or so. So yeah, next time we will get back doing some combat, some exploration towards the Spiretop Lighthouse, but first we will start it by talking to Harlan and our butler. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and also I appreciate any likes. And with that, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.